The world looks different at 30, not because it changed, because I did. I used to think 30 was some kind of finish line. Like by the time you get here, you're supposed to have figured it out: the business, the money, the clarity. But standing in front of that mirror now, 30 doesn't feel like an arrival. It feels like the beginning of something I didn't have the maturity to understand before. And I think that's worth being honest about. My 20s moved fast, and somewhere in all that movement, I realized I was present everywhere and connected to nothing. I've been in a room full of people and feel completely alone inside my head. Not because anything was wrong with them, but because I was carrying something I hadn't figured out how to put down yet. A version of myself I was still trying to become, a life I could see clearly but hadn't built yet. And that gap, that space between who you are and who you know you're supposed to be, that's a heavy thing to carry quietly. I wasted time in my 20s. I'm going to say that plainly. Not because I wasn't working, but because I confused being busy with actually building. I had the vision. I always had the vision. But vision without discipline is just imagination. And for too long, I was living inside my imagination instead of doing the work to make it real. Time doesn't negotiate. It doesn't care how talented you are. It doesn't care how good your ideas are. It just keeps moving. And at 30, I finally stopped treating it like it was unlimited. Something else changed when I turned 30. I became very careful about where I put my energy. There are people who drain you without even meaning to. Environments that pull you away from yourself. Conversations that leave you feeling smaller than when you walked in. I started protecting my peace the way I used to protect my time. Not with aggression, not with arrogance, just with quiet, intentional distance. Because I realized every yes I give to something that doesn't serve me is a no to something that does. And I don't have the yes to spend anymore on things that don't align with where I'm going. That's not coldness, that's clarity. At some point in my late 20s, I stopped waiting to feel ready. I started writing things down, not just ideas, but intentions. Who I want to be, what I'm building, why it matters. I picked up the camera more, even when the conditions weren't perfect, even when I didn't have a full plan. Because I understood something finally. The agency isn't going to build itself. The films are going to make themselves. The life I want requires me to show up for it, deliberately, consistently, even imperfectly, and every single day. I'm a filmmaker. I'm building something real. And at 30, I'm more certain of that than I've ever been in my entire life. That took everything I went through to find it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I used to be afraid of time passing, afraid I was falling behind, afraid the gap between my vision and my reality meant something was fundamentally wrong with me. But I have stopped measuring my life in deadlines. Am I becoming slowly, honestly, and intentionally the man I used to only dream about being? The answer is yes. And that's enough for me right now. 30 isn't a finish line, it's a foundation. I grew up in Cameroon. I moved to America at 19 with a vision bigger than my resources and a hunger I didn't fully understand yet. I've made mistakes, I've lost time, I've doubted myself more times than I'll admit. But I'm still here. I'm building, I'm creating, I'm still becoming. And at 30, I'm just getting started.